Hey, what's up? It's Greg from Fisherman's headquarters, and today is Saturday, August 9th. Beautiful Saturday summer afternoon, evening here, just before sunset, which is coming up at 8 o'clock. You see the sun going down behind me. As I take a stroll up here onto the beach, I want to share an updated fish report with you folks, kind of give you guys a little update of what's been going on here recently. Been a lot of different opportunities, a lot of different things happening here on the Long Beach Island area, the Central Jersey Shore. I'm sure I'll miss a couple things, but I wanted to kind of check in and share an update and give you guys heads up with some things that's happening. So right now off the surf, we've got some fluke. Off the surf, we also have some kingfish. And off the surf, we got a pretty good, consistent, say larger summertime swell. When I say large, it's not really large for the year, say overall, but for the summertime, it's been pretty small and kind of tranquil. We've had some easterly winds here for a number of days. Started off with Dexter down off North Carolina and kind of that persistent onshore easterly breeze. We got some easterly swell here. Looks like it's gonna fade out here next couple days. Winds lighten up the lot. Wind's beautiful right now at bay as a sheet of glass. As I'm taking a stroll here, I'm assuming you hear the surf churn in the shore break. It's dead high tide. High tide's right about 8 o'clock. This report I'm throwing up is about 7:15 right now, and I just walked on the beach. I'll kind of give a little bit of a turn to the camera, see if you guys can get a little bit of that surf behind me. But yeah, off the front beach, like I said, it's a little churned up. I don't see much weed here at the high tide line, so that is good. There's a little patch here, a little patch there, but it's not blankets of it here on the Mid-Island surf. I'm in Long Beach Township right now, not too far from my house, taking a stroll. I can share there have been some fluke caught recently, also kingfish off the beach. You will also find really good fluke action in the bay and inlet still now. Some really good fish actually getting caught the last few days. I know Jimmy Nacone, regular at the shop, he's always got a knack for catching big fish. He's got a number of big ones recently on his recent trips. I forget the name of the angler. Somebody sent a photo in from the south end kayaking on the bay side. Got a really big fluke. There's a lot of fish in that 4 to 8 pound range right now. I'm not saying everybody's just bailing 4 to 8 pounders, but there's a number of nice fish getting caught. What I would kind of lead that, the reason behind that, or the reason I'm leaning that way, is saying that you got a pretty good shot at them, is the water's warm, water's active, fish can be active in that warmer water, and as you got that, the consistency in the water temperatures, you're not gonna have the swings from tide to tide window. What you'll have a lot of times when you got a window where you have cold and then warm, you'll have an on bite and an off bite, on bite, off bite. Sometimes you'll have only an hour or so bite here and there. But right now we got consistent, really warm waters. Water temperature off the LBI surf is in the mid 70 degree range, anywhere in the range of 73 to 75 degrees. I know today Harvey Cedars Beach Patrol threw up a post that they had 75 degrees in Harvey Cedars. I'm just kind of walking through the wash here. It feels very warm on my feet. Going back to that fluke action, when that water's super warm in the bay, it starts getting late season section in the summertime, those fish start exiting the bay. When they exit, they're gonna follow the main, say, arteries, the main thoroughfares out the inlets. Right now, I'd say if you were fishing the inlets and the main arteries in close proximity to the inlets, you are in the right spot. You wanna be fishing either live bait or some bigger baits. Live minnows, live spot, those are really the standards. You can fish spearing too. Gulp is definitely gonna be the way to do it as well. I can dive back. I think I shared my last report. Fishing for me has been very, very good out in the ocean, fishing the wrecks. I also heard some fish in the reef sites. There's a number of reef sites here locally, whether you're going at the south end or the north end. I can share there's been good reports in the bay and inlet on the north side and also on the south side of LBI. So there's not like one area is doing better than the other. Once again, main arteries, the main thoroughfares in close proximity to the inlet is gonna be where you're gonna be looking right now on the south side or north side of the island. I can share that one of the jetty jockeys checked in a beautiful fluke today. I was not at the shop, so I don't know exactly how big it was, but I saw it was a really good fish. I'll throw a little photo up of that. Beautiful doormat that he got up in Barnegat Inlet. Like I said, Barnegat Inlet's been really good with fishing for a couple weeks now. I can share also, there has been some Cobia around. I will share a little video right now from store alumni Jack Keating. He's also at, he started Stack Tackle. He's a co-founder of Stack Tackle. If anybody's been following along, we've had some pretty good bite on the Stack Tackle jigs, screwy jigs. So shout out to Jack and Stack. He's been flying his drone a lot around up here on the Mid-Island surf off the beach and been following these Cobia around. Also had some Mahi right off the beach. He said quarter mile to half mile off the beach. Good amount of Cobia, good amount of, and occasionally he saw a couple the Mahi. Not saying there's tons of Mahi in the wash, but they are here. So I'll throw out a little video up there. All right, so cool little video there. It's awesome to see. Water's warm, water's clean. Fortunately, we have a little bit of bait around, some smaller schools of bunker, and that's kind of what those guys are feeding on. I can say the Capel got one the other day. He went out in the afternoon after Jack kind of let him know. I think he let him know that, hey man, there's some Cobia pushing around here. You should check it out. And he got out there and got one on NLBN paddle tail. So it's cool to see that. This is kind of the time for them. As far as other fishing opportunities right now in the area, tog fishing up the north end is good. It's not epic fishing. Oh, that's a big one coming up. Almost took me out. Little flood tide pushing here, maxing out high. See, it just washed up over the seawall. Yeah, the tog fishing is pretty good up in Barnegat Light. I will not say that they're smashing big keeper fish, but as that water temperature is going to decrease throughout, say the next couple months, fishing should get better. Definitely an active bite with smaller fish. There are keepers in the mix. I've heard people are catching keepers. Most of that actually on sand fleas and green crabs. Small hook or a small tog jig's all you need. You can fish anywhere from the inside to the midsection to outside along the inlet there. You can fish the bay side, the condos. They just did a little updated kind of repair to the wall, to that railing. I call it the wall. So you can fish in there. You can fish anywhere out to the lighthouse and around the bend, all the way out the elbow, the concrete walkway, all the way out to the tip. There's good fishing all through there. Also tog, fluke. There's also some sheep's head around. I think in my last couple reports I shared, there's some blowfish kind of upticking here, a little increase in blowfish in the recent days or weeks, last week or so. Triggerfish have been around. I mentioned the sheep's head, some weak fish around, some bluefish, and still some summertime striped bass. So you kind of have a bunch of different opportunities. There's a few guys fishing, the lines are kind of pretty low. There's people swimming over there. So I'm just gonna spin around this way, keep it simple, and without bobbing and weaving, getting tangled up in a spider web of fishing lines. But bounce like this way, I can share. Last night I had an awesome time at the Village Harbor Fishing Club. I was invited. I go there every year. Do a fishing seminar, talk. This time, Phil, who runs the seminar, schedule, didn't really tell me exactly what he wanted early on when I dedicated, the date on my calendar. But he reached out just a week or so ago and said, hey, it's kind of what we're looking for, some tips to catch more fish. So I was pretty open-ended. I went there and talked about fluke fishing and 10 ways to better your fluke fish or catch more fluke or a bigger fluke. So I'll share a couple of those points now. I won't get too far into the weeds, but I will just say that Village Harbor Fishing Club is an awesome active fishing club. I think one of the best fishing clubs in the region here. Maybe one of the best ones in the state, no offense to any other and their fishing clubs, but I really love them as a tackle shop. They do a lot for the community. They do a lot for their members, and they support the fisheries, conservation. They also provide a lot of good information to say someone who is, say, looking for networking, looking for some updated information, maybe they're looking to network and buddy up with an angler, they need a little help, they need an extra friend to go along with, or someone who's, say, new to the sport, who's maybe just got a boat, wants to learn a couple things. But they provide an awesome newsletter. But basically the meeting I went to, I talked about Fluke, is basically location, learning location, how to better understand locations. And when I say that, more like spots in the ocean, how to learn the reefs, how to learn the individual wrecks, finding them, one, but also picking them apart and figuring out the little nooks and crannies of them, using some different sources online, but also using some technology with regards to navionics, using relief shading, also going out and actually marking them out, doing a pattern, a search pattern, marking out, figuring out how to better mark an area. You can use, I use different emblems or icons when I mark for high spots, low spots. Without getting into that, I also talked to a few other things about, choosing the right tackle, not fishing rods too heavy or too light, or line that's too heavy or too light, fishing some lighter braid, scaling down and fishing the proper weight, whether you're fishing a rig, which I shared some rigs I fish and some jigs and the way I rig up, not fishing too heavy, not fishing too light, having too heavy of a sinker or having too light of a sinker. Both times you'll snag. You want to kind of have that happy medium, happy balance. I also talked a little bit about controlling your drift, how to modify your drift, whether using a trolling motor, a drift sock, using your motor in reverse. all those are great techniques to better control your drift, to better, better manage a drift. Talked a little about making sure you have all your eggs in your basket and ready to go when you're in preparation, getting ready to go, but also have your ducks in a row the day of. Knowing your knots, knowing your guides aren't busted, knowing your reel isn't, free spool isn't jammed up, or level line's not broken. Kind of some of the basics there. Mentioned a little bit about the baits I fish, the rigs I fish. Mentioned about scope and line management. I see a lot of times clients on the boat sometimes have trouble when they're fishing or actively fishing, getting the line hung up, or they're fishing too much slack, fishing with too much scope, and then they start getting tangled up. A lot of different line management topics and techniques that could probably do a simple seminar on every one of them. Also talked a little about action and imparting action, and not just drifting and dreaming and dragging along. Do a little hop, skip, and a jump, or little staccato taps. Tap dance. There's a number of different styles of rhythms or different patterns you can put or action you can impart to better your fluke fishing. So I shared some of those things. I shared a couple little top secrets that I'll leave to the club, because I don't share it with many people, but wanted to give them a couple little pointers after the top, my 10 points that I kind of gave them a couple of bonuses at the end. Did a lot of good question and answer. So anybody who is part of that club, I will be sending that PowerPoint as a exported PDF around, so you guys can see that, because the technology there was not working that day. We couldn't show the PowerPoint, so we made the most of it. It worked out really well, I think. But it was a bummer. I put together a really nice PowerPoint. So if you are in the club, that's a score. If you're not in the club, you want to join, it's only $40 to join. You get some discounts at different, some marine centers, and also some tackle shops. It's for $40. It's a no-brainer. But just check them out. Just want to give those guys a shout out. Village Harbor Fishing Club. A lot of great guys there. Been going on for a long, long time. We supported the club probably for 20 years or more. Great club. So yeah, once again, it's Great Fisherman's headquarters. Right now here in LBI, there's some great fishing opportunities. Hopefully you're getting out there. We had a little easterly blow. Looks like that's kind of settling down, and things are really looking good here in the near future. Stoked to see some great fish getting caught, fluke getting caught, kingfish, bluefish, striped bass, some really nice sheep's head, triggerfish, blowfish. Tuna fishing's been really good. A little bit of a news flash there. I posted it on Instagram and said, Bob the Bummer and Debbie Downer shared a little news update here for you, which is the bluefin fishing just got shut down for the recreational sector. Not jumping into the weeds there, but they say the quota has been reached. It's full based on all data that they have. So anybody who is tuna fishing, anybody who is doing the highly migratory species targeting, it's the HMS permit. Anybody who's doing that, you always want to look the day before you're planning on going, or maybe even the morning of. In preparation for that trip, you always want to check in with the HMS permitting website, which is basically NOAA Fisheries, for the updated information there. But currently right now, I believe it's the next day or so. I think it closes in like the next 24 to 40 hours. I'm not the authority on that, but check them out. It's closing down. They closed it earlier, opened it back up, and then just closed it back down. The fishing's really good, so a lot of fish getting caught. I think the reporting is way skewed. I know the reporting on the striped bass side is skewed. Reporting everything's skewed. Recreational anglers, unfortunately, we just don't provide the data that we need to provide. It's very difficult to compile recreational data for our efforts when that's the number of trips we go, what we catch and release, what we harvest and whatnot. So I want to get into the weeds with all that. That's once again another whole video, and a lot of debates kind of spiral out of control. But anybody involved in the fisheries, anybody who wants to get involved in fisheries, go to the meetings, pay attention, read the documents, and voice your opinion and put your public comments out there. Once again, it's Great Fisherman's headquarters. Thanks for checking in. I'll do my best to get another update out here later in the week. I got a number of trips lined up next few days. I'm looking forward to getting out there and getting back into some really good fishing, because last week or so I had some awesome fishing for a number of trips in a row. Had 4 or 5 trips lined up that everyone was phenomenal. It was better than the next. Had a couple days off there. Been super busy at the shop. Super busy at home. Actually just took a little family vacation, a little day trip to Seaside. I don't know why I went to Seaside on a Saturday. We went up to the boardwalk, had a great time. Actually, surprisingly, didn't have any traffic. People were slamming coming on the LBI. We were leaving, and then we blazed right into Seaside. We came back. People were slamming in there, traffic coming into Seaside. We were heading out. It was kind of perfect. Had a great time on the boardwalk. Sausage sandwiches, ice cream, good video games. Our Lucky Lou's. We had an awesome time with the kids and family. So shout out to the boardwalk over there. Kind of happy we don't have one in LBI, but sometimes it's good to check out of here and check in there and see what the say seaside scene's all about these days. Once again, it's Great Fisherman's headquarters. Appreciate you guys following along. If you haven't already, be sure to like and subscribe. Thank you guys. Have a great day.